It's been shared. Cool.
Yeah. Okay. That's good. Okay. I'm gonna switch it now, man.
Alright.
Alright, I think I got everything, and if we fucked up, oh well. Okay. So, hey guys. Wait, hold on. I'm like fucking need to minimize this. Hi, how's it going? Oh, you can see all my things. Welcome to Lunch Hour, guys. I'm here with Matt Dunford, who's the runner of fuck, what is it? San Diego Comic Fest, right? You were the runner. You were the.
Well, I'm chairman of the event. I don't run the event, but I do play a very big part in orchestrating things and manipulating my evil desires. Mwahaha. And I'm aware that I also need to work on my maniacal laugh and all that jazz, all that junk along the way. So, also.
Oh, and hi, Tom, and hi, Will. So if I say hi to people, that's why. So we're waiting for people to say hi. And if you are with Twitch or YouTube, say hello, because there's no fucking way I can see you other than that. Only Facebook Live announces the shit. So, hey, Roger, how's it going? And while I do this, I will share my shit across the world. But Matt, like, tell us a little bit about yourself and everything. And I know this ain't perfect, but whatever. So is perfection.
Okay, well, fortunately for you, I am perfect. So that certainly helps out along the way.
Typical male, goddammit.
Wardrobe, so you don't have to see my array of clothes that are all black shirts and blue jeans. So anyway, my name is Matt Dunford, and I am chairman of San Diego Comic Fest. As you can tell by my gigantic library of comic books behind me, I'm a pretty voracious reader and lover of all things comic books. So, of course, I read superhero stuff. I'll read manga. I'll read science fiction. I'll read European stuff. I read strips and webcomics and all this stuff. I just love comic books because, at heart, I'm a giant dork. So, what I'm talking about today is San Diego Comic Fest, which is an event that was started about 7 years ago. It came about from an idea during the 40th anniversary of San Diego Comic-Con, when Comic-Con International reunited the original founding fathers of San Diego Comic-Con. And at this event, at that particular Comic-Con, all the founding fathers, they all gone their separate ways, and as the convention continued to flourish in its own way, they thought to themselves, it's so good getting us all back together, but wouldn't it be great if it was like the old days, where we had the just the small and intimate environment with all the legendary creators?
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be the coolest thing in the world if we were to get that back? And so they thought to themselves, why don't we try to make that happen? And so the idea of bringing the comic convention experience back to its small roots started in 2012 with the first San Diego Comic Fest, started by Comic-Con founders Mike Towery and Richard Alf. Mm-hmm. And of course, it was a good idea, but of course the convention has continued to flourish over the years. Year number 1, you're learning to crawl. Year number 2, you're taking your baby steps. Then year 3, you're up and running. Around year 4 was the year that Comic Fest finally became the convention it needs to be. Year 5, that's when I came on as chairman, and I really started helping bring things up in the ranks. And that was year number 5 was when we did our Jack Kirby Centennial.
Damn.
And that was the year when people were just nearly having tears in their eyes, saying like, there's too many good events at all at the same time. Do I go to the Jack Kirby Centennial? Do I go to the 25th anniversary of the X-Men cartoon panel? And it's like, there are too many good things to do, which is awesome. I love it. It's a good problem to have. Mm-hmm. And then year 6, which was our last year, the 2018 show, we did the 200th anniversary of Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, which was great to do because it was a wonderful theme for us to focus on across science fiction, film, and comics. And that's the year where we got called America's Best Small Convention. And
that's pretty cool.
I like that title. It's pretty cool, but I would rather be America's Best Convention. So that's what I'm trying to go for this year.
Yeah, I'll tell you that. Hey, Quentin. Quentin's a longtime fan. Hey, Jameson. Hey, Frank. Hey, Art. Hey, Sean. Hey, Cassandra. Hey, Roger. Yeah, all these people come on, and they want to see what you do. I'm kind of like weird like that. I have to be like that. Like, I won the Ringo for 2018. Not just me, but the whole anthology for the Mind Planned Parenthood. You probably saw me post about that last year at some point. And we won that. It was like the sexiest picture ever and all that in Baltimore. But at the same time, I was kind of like, man, one of these days I just want to win a Ringo and Eisner by myself. And you just kind of, but you need time to work up to that. You can't, I've noticed, like, in this game, very rarely do you go and start in as the best. That doesn't
No,
mean you
no.
suck.
You would have to start from the bottom,
Yeah.
learn the steps, because honestly, it's like, and I think it's just sometimes the wrong approach just to, come in, being the best. It's just like, okay, I've just been appointed the head of this company, but I don't know how the employees work. I don't know how the people beneath me. So I can need to be, and as chairman, I'm in a leadership position. But, you still see me at all the comic stores all over the weekend. You still see me at conventions all the time. You still see me all over just doing all this stuff because I love being involved with it. I just can't stay away. I like talk about Steven Universe with the kids. I still can go to video game tournaments. I'm a big geek at heart. And now I have this opportunity to help cultivate a convention that is a wonderful fixture of comic book history and a celebration of comic book history, but also finding the balance with contemporary stuff. So it's not just so much focus on old stuff, but finding the balance with new things along the way. And it's been a wonderful experience for me.
Yeah, I mean, hey Derek, what's up? Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. It's like, I think we have this unrealistic expectation, I think, with people where they go like, oh, fucking, I gotta go and be the best. If I don't get that job or that thing, I'm done. And like, it's not always that way. Like, you're not gonna be the person, like, the best in the world right now. Sometimes you're gonna fucking suck, and you will have a lot of people discourage you and tell you, like, you should quit. I had that bullshit happen. And then it's like I realize you go through different stages, at least for me as an artist. It's like, first of all, they say you're talented as a kid. Oh, you'll go far. And then they'll say, if you don't fit their expectations, they'll say, oh, well, you need to draw more like this. And I'm not saying don't take constructive criticism, but take with whatever criticism that works for you. Like what resonates with you internally. Like, you have to rely on your gut. I hate it when people talk to artists and they say, well, you shouldn't rely on your gut. It's like, no, your gut will help you fucking make the bills because it can make those judgment calls. You got to pattern that with learning. And then people will then say, well, if you drew more like this or worked at the studio, you'd go far. And sometimes that's a good thing to do. But then when they start saying, well, you need to draw more like this person or that person, you're like, okay. But when people start recognizing your work for you and they say, I want your stuff because it's yours, that's when you've known you've hit success. And pretty soon you'll be known for what you do. And there's not a right way or wrong way to go about doing stuff. So, like, and you have to understand, like, I think with any paths to success, people can do it all sorts of different ways. Like, I didn't go the animation route. I wanted to, but I didn't get to do that. I could have gone the fine art route or this other stuff, but I just kind of did my own thing. I didn't even go to Marvel or DC.
Yeah, I know. I've bounced around all over the place. Just realized, when I look at my career path to where it's led me before, I went, I got out of high school wanting to be a cartoon voice actor. That didn't work out so well for me. Then I went back to college and I got a degree at UC Santa Barbara. I'm
an alumni too.
Oh yeah, I majored in cultural anthropology along the way. But it was this experience that I had when I went down to LA for a Pokemon tournament in 2009, and then afterwards I went to Meltdown Comics to listen to Len Wein talk about what, being the editor of Watchmen. And it was my first time really learning what an editor does in comic books, and I just thought, that sounds like the coolest job in the entire world. All you have to do is really just make comic books better.
Yeah.
Like being in the director's seat. It's not like being a glorified spell checker like I thought all these years. And so I talked with him, and he just said, I was like, how did you become a great comic book historian? He says, well, learn so much about, great comic book editor. He says, learn pretty much so much that you could be called a comic book historian. So I became even more voracious reader, expanding my horizons, going beyond the, just Marvel comic books that I was just reading. I spent the summer of 2009 absorbing every single comic I could, every history text, every sort of thing. And then in the summer of 2009 at San Diego Comic-Con, I was attending the Jack Kirby tribute panel. And there was a professor on that panel who was also a founding father of San Diego Comic-Con named Roger Friedman. And he was also a professor at UC Santa Barbara, where he teaches physics. And I thought, wait, there's a founding father of Comic-Con who's a UCSB faculty, and so I would go to his office hours, and then I would learn everything about San Diego Comic-Con from him, and learning the history and the formative years and just talking about it, because I just wanted to know that history, and I wanted to bring it in. I wanted to just learn all of these cool stories from these great creators interacting with fans back in the day. I just thought it was the most amazing thing. And then, after that, Roger gave me this great opportunity to sit on a PhD PhD consultation committee for a student who is graduating with a PhD in superheroology.
That's cool.
Wow, that's cool.
So I just want to say hi to a few people. Hey, Derek. Hey, Micah. Hey, Kitsune. Hey, guys. Sorry, you have a lot of good information. I'm not saying that. It's like I have to like greet people too. But
never forget the fans who tune in.
Yeah.
I can't see your name because I'm just,
Well, you're probably not mutual friends and stuff, and Kristen. Okay. But yeah, no, what you're saying is good. Like sometimes they say you need to go to this thing. Like I've seen artists go and try to put themselves through. Like if I don't go through this major art institution, then I'm screwed. It's like, look, the good thing about an art institution that's noted is that yes, there is a good high quality of education. I don't think that's wrong. But you also get connections, which also are good, but you can't totally discount it. I mean, sometimes it's not worth it to go through thousands of dollars of debt to do that. And there's plenty of very good schools that will help you get a degree.
I have a bachelor's degree from UC Santa Barbara. I don't even
know
where it is right now because I've got posters and stuff all over the wall. It's like, what? My bachelor's degree for me is a piece of paper. It's a life experience, but it's not the one that defines me. It's how you move forward and keep moving forward through it. And, I followed the passion, which is still comic books. And, of course, I went through different career paths. I mean, after college, I worked as a chauffeur for a while. So if you ever wondered why I slay in a suit, oh, yeah, that's why. And then I got into comics, working in editorial for Semantic Publishing in San Diego. They were surprised, wait, you want to be an editor? Nobody wants to be an editor. Well, I do. And then I worked my way up until I eventually became editor-in-chief when the company rebranded as Key Comics and did that for a while until the company folded. And then, fortunately, I got back on my feet when I discovered Little Fish Comic Book Studio here in San Diego, a comic education institute, and I thought this was the coolest thing ever. How can I help? And eventually they appointed me president of the board, and then I would get involved with so many other, pretty much anything comics in San Diego. I just wanted to be involved with it, so I became a volunteer for San Diego Comic Fest during their third year, and helping to bring them up along the way, because I always thought the idea is there, but the execution is not quite there. So how can we bring this up into the convention it needs to be? But now, why not take it past the convention it needs to be? Let's just make it better and better and better. And so now we have attained the rank of America's best small convention. And this year, guest winner, we have Sergio Aragones, the world's greatest living cartoonist. I never thought I would be saying that, but Sergio El Maestro, he is our guest of honor, and we get to do so many great things along the way. And our theme this year is 50 years of the Apollo 11 moon landing. So some people say, well, what's that have to do with comics? Well, the thing is, because our focal point of the convention is comics, science fiction, film, just like it was during the first early years of the San Diego Comic-Con. So for people who say that film has no presence at San Diego Comic-Con, no Hollywood, sorry, hate to break it to you, it's been there since the first year in 1969.
To be honest, like comics and film kind of play off of each other. And the thing is that it's interesting too, because when you were talking about that, like the cell phones we have now, it's like the flip phones, like that was off the communicators. If you look at the iPads, you can look at Star Trek Next Generation. They had iPads, and they always hail back to anime. Like this is a total Next Generation nerd thing, but I remember watching an episode when I was a teenager. And I remember it said K and Yuri. I'm like, oh, fuck, Dirty Pair, man. So it's like, that's like the OG stuff that I used to grow up with. Oh, there. Hey, Michael. Hey, Heron. How's it going? So, yeah, I mean, and also I met Sergio. He is like one of the most approachable people I have met. And like, I remember growing up reading shit, like not so much Gru, but Mad Magazine, his cartoons. And I would talk to him.
Years, so it's hard to not have Sergio in the light of the cartooning realm. And that he is constantly evolving. His stuff gets better and better, and here he is into his 80s.
Yeah, 80s, yeah.
Still doing it, still loving it, and still just being an enigmatic, wonderful guy. It's like, I can't think, it just still boggles the mind that this is happening.
Well, I met him several years ago at a table, and I just talked with him, and he was just really cool. It was like...
He's just the coolest, chillest guy in the world. It's like, it should be something intimidating, but just I remember, there'd be times when I was going to UC Santa Barbara, and I'd just be shopping in the comic store on Saturdays, and all of a sudden Sergio would walk in. I'm like, and I'm just like freaking out, and he's like, no, it's just like just saying hi to everyone and signing autographs on the books and stuff, and just because he just lived the town over in Ojai, and but he's just such a wonderful, nice guy, and it's just absolutely just fantastic that this is coming together, and but even then, for the 2020 show, I'm already making plans. I'm already
Right.
talking to some special guests and whatnot, and because I want a bigger and better show. And guess what? Sergio is going to be a tough act to follow, but guess what? I strive for improvement every single time.
There you go. Hey, Lori, how are you? Hey, Quentin, how are you? So yeah, people talk with each other amongst each other. But yeah, the thing is that like it's weird. Like when I went to Long Beach Comic Expo, and you think, oh, that's a small show, and people say whatever. I would say Chris and his team really tried hard to make that show good. You know, they had some hiccups, but they really took care of us artists and the guest artists. Like I was a guest artist. I walked in, and I just said, yeah, I'm here to pick up my badge. And like, oh, I know you. I'm like. And it's just kind of crazy, but I mean, now it's like I've been asked to do it again. Maybe I think for the con, I have to check to make sure. But it's weird when you get to that point as an artist or any sort of person in your comic career. Let's say in general, I can't speak for everybody, but it's just like when people start knowing who you are.
Like it's weird to be walking through a comic convention, all of a sudden be like, Matt Dunford, oh my god, it's Matt Dunford. And it's like, oh my god, it's like I have no idea who the person was. Like it's still weird. And because just I don't know, because my activities now is just literally it's just activism. It's running a comic convention and making sure that the artistic and comic creation community scene in San Diego is just a superb nonstop one. A lot of people think that the comic community in San Diego just dries up when Comic Con goes away. I'm like, no, it's all year round. And I can tell you, I'm at an event or something every night that showcases that this is a alive and thriving scene. And I want to show that it's the best comic community in the world.
Yeah.
It doesn't just dry up during San Diego Comic Con. And so you have so many wonderful institutions here. You have a great network of comic creators getting together for drink and draws all the time. Mm-hmm. You have wonderful stores like Southern California Comics, Now or Never, popping up on the scene. And to see new stores emerging despite, the not so good years that the industry has had, and we had some closures, but to see new stores rising out of the ashes, that's a wonderful thing. And I always make sure to go to these events and buy a new book from a creator and start reading their stuff to show that no, I'm not just like some guy who says he's a big shot. I'm still a fan at heart. I love this stuff. I am still just really, I like to engage the community. I like to meet new people. I want to know everybody's names, and I want to geek out with these people.
Yeah.
And I've dealt a good hand with this, but like I said, I went from the bottom and now I've worked my way up. Mm-hmm. But I can't forget the steps that took me there.
Well, and also like
it's to help the community. That's what I do.
Well, also like you have to understand, like when you're building stuff up, you're building relationships, and people come into this with a thing, you're like, oh, I'm going to go and get something and it'll just happen. And yes, that can happen. But it's like when I was younger, it was like more of a thing. Like, by the way, hi Jeremy, hi Nick. I'm just saying hi to people. Yeah, well, with the figurines on the top of the video. Who is the guy in the video? Jeremy's asking. So, oh, that's Matt Dunford. By the way, guys, yeah, this is like Captain America. I can recognize. Looks like Darkseid's up there. Silver Surfer, Hulk.
Ultron and Hulk and Abomination. Well, let me go to the other room so I can show you the rest.
Okay. Hey, you're getting a tour, Jeremy. But yeah, so
Marvel stuff.
Yeah, but I was like because the thing is, guys, is he's the chairman of San Diego Comic Fest, which is happening.
Here's my sexy cutout of when the artist of last year's Comic Fest drew me as Victor Frankenstein. Isn't it cute?
Dear Lord.
He's the best anime waifu. And over here, you can see like all my Spider-Man, Venom, and like Carnage Rax, and my Green Goblins, all my X-Men stuff over there, and then there's a bunch of other like stuff. There's my collection of sunglasses over there. And there's my DC wall over here, all my IDW stuff. My house is a wreck right now, filled with a bunch of junk, but I love this stuff.
Bitch, you got more sunglasses than we got. Girls got shoes. That's all I gotta say on that shit.
I have 8 pairs.
Yeah, but here's the thing, guys. Up on the thing and in the text of this post, you will see the links to San Diego Comic Fest do show up. Do you still have artist tables available, or do you still need, or everybody full up?
It's a little bit of a tight squeeze right now.
Okay.
Because the thing is, we are at San Diego Comic Fest. We don't believe in robbing an artist blind for a table. The prices for our Artist Alley tables are just $25.
That's not bad. Hey, guys, you should go up and check it out. I mean, if you guys are artists, it's a wise investment. I mean, I would go, but I've got other obligations.
Honestly, we would do Artist Alley tables for free. But the thing is, in recent years, like, we've had some people sign up for free tables and then not show up. And we think
that's fucked up.
$25 is just the minimal amount to solidify a commitment.
No, no, that's just fucked up. I mean, so guys, just by all means, check it out. Like, check out San Diego Comic Fest. The links are up there. You can follow them on Instagram and Twitter. Matt's here, and we're talking about it, and
Yeah,
it sounds like an awesome show.
Boston, and we get to celebrate 25 years of the Spider-Man animated series with show creator John Semper. And of course, I don't like to insert my personal fanboy into an event because when you do that, it's like, well, you're just making this into Dunford Con. But I think the 25th anniversary of the Spider-Man cartoon is one that needs to be celebrated because of how much it did influence the pop culture that we know and love today. How it really did influence this interconnected Marvel Cinematic Universe. I mean, say for example, Blade the Vampire Hunter pops up in the Spider-Man show in 1996, and the character hasn't been seen in 20 years. So all of a sudden, 2 years later, he gets his own movie, which kind of shows that wait, an obscure superhero character worked in a movie. Maybe some less obscure ones could work in movies. And of course, then you follow suit with X-Men, and then boom, everything blows up. And so much of this is actually, inspired by the Spider-Man cartoon.
Yeah.
In fact, one of the panels that I get to do with John Semper that's going to be really cool is True Origins of the Spider-Verse. Now, I love the Spider-Verse. I loved Into the Spider-Verse. It was my favorite movie of last year. And but the thing is, if you were a fan of the 1990s Spider-Man cartoon, the plot of that movie might strike you as a little familiar, because it pretty much is verbatim the final 2 episodes of the Spider-Man cartoon, Spider-Wars. And so John gets to talk about the true origins of the Spider-Verse that inspired the movie. And so that's going to be really fun. So I get to get my personal fanboy on.
Yeah, well, I mean, the thing is that it's interesting because it's like, it's a cumulative effect, like everything is. And I remember watching the Spider-Man cartoon when I was a kid, at least the reruns. When did the cartoon come out? I'm trying to remember.
It started November 19th, 1994. That's when it first premiered.
Oh, okay, and that one, okay.
So I remember it all so well because that was the day when, of course, I'd been reading Spider-Man comics casually, but then I saw that and it just blew my mind. And I just went into Spider-Mania. I had to have every action figure. I had to have every trading card. I had to have every... And as you can see, it's had a lingering effect on me.
Yeah. Hey Jared, hey Stephanie, hey Rob. So this is Matt Dunford, the chairman of the San Diego Comic Fest. I'm sorry, I'm a little tongue-tied. I was running around all day today. But I just wanted to go ahead and let you guys know he is the chairman. So if you have any questions for him for the con, it's coming up on 3/7 to 3/10. And it's going to be fun. And if you guys are artists, our selling is like $25, and apparently it's a tight squeeze right now, so you better go and hook up and do it.
You might get something on the wait list if need be, but otherwise we would still love to have you at the show. Like I said, we have a very special guest list. Our guest of honor, of course, is Sergio Aragones, the world's greatest living cartoonist.
I met the guy personally. He's really nice.
Oh, and we also have a Golden Age comic special guest, Mr. Alan Bellman, who used to draw Captain America back in the 40s. Not a lot of Golden Age comic professionals still around, and Alan is still actually drawing, so I would recommend, get a cap sketch from him before it's too late, amongst things. And then we also have a science fiction guest of honor, Mr. William Nolan, who's authored more than 2,000 pieces of creative fiction, and he even co-authored Logan's Run. He's won just about every single science fiction award there is. The man's 90 and still writing. It's pretty awesome to see. And we also have a fan guest of honor, Mr. Bill Shelley, who's authored some great books on fandom and the Comic-Con scene. And so, of course, and we also have a dealer guest of honor, Mr. Bud Plett, who made it through 49 consecutive San Diego Comic-Cons. That's a pretty impressive feat. So, as you can see, when it comes to conventions, it is an ecosystem. You have your special guests, you have your fans.
Oh, look, Jeremy has a piece of trivia saying that Joe Perry was the singer for Spider-Man in the 90s theme song. I'm like,
yes, he was the singer for the Spidey theme song. You might remember in the Venom episode where Spider-Man gets the suit. Wow, this can transform into anything. Go to my regular suit. What are my regular suit? How about that the guy from Aerosmith when he turns into Joe Perry and it plays the Spider-Man riff. And, yeah, if you could read the questions to me, that would be awesome, because I don't want to, because I can't see them right now, because I don't want double feedback going off on the same time. So
yeah.
And we'll have some other cool guests coming on board. Of course, like I said, John Semper of the Spider-Man animated series will be celebrating the 25th anniversary together. We also have Mr. Tony Benedict, who used to write the Jetsons and Top Cat and Huckleberry Hound, Yogi Bear, McGill Gorilla, pretty much all those Hanna-Barbera classics back in the day. He's coming on board.
Oh, nice.
If you're a big fan of 80s cartoons, such as Bumblebee the Barbarian, G.I. Joe, Transformers, and other stuff like that in the animated series, Mr. Buzz Dixon is coming back once again. So you can get your, so you can hear him talk about all your favorite toys that you grew up with and how they were actually just toy advertisements disguised as cartoons.
It's kind of funny. Have you met Livio Ramondelli? He's also doing I think it was Dreamwave or something. IDW. No, it's IDW. He's doing the cartoon. He's doing the comics for Transformers, which is amazing too. So it's weird seeing the old and the new here, and I'm like a big G1 fan for Transformers myself. Like Optimus Prime is the fucking shit. Like when they had him in the Michael Bay movie, I gave it some credence because I'm like, okay, it's got Peter Cullen. Let's just do this, right? So there you go.
And of course, other guests that we got along the way. Some other legends of animation. Mr. Willie Ito, who animated the Spaghetti and the Tramp spaghetti scene back in the day. He is coming on board. And he also created Hong Kong Phooey back in the day. Mr. Floyd Norman, who has been working at Walt Disney Studios since the 50s, and he spent nearly a decade working with Walt Disney. Not all the guys alive who can still say that. He was also the first black animator at Disney, working on his first project there was Sleeping Beauty.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
It's so nice to get these great living legends along the way. But, we also have some other contemporary comic creators, such as the crew from Man of Action. So that's Joe Kelly, Joe Casey, Steve Siegel, and Duncan Rollo are coming to San Diego Comic Fest. So they're some of the guys behind Marvel's Ultimate Spider-Man, the Avengers Assemble series, and then they created Big Hero 6 back in the day, and currently, executive producers on Ben 10, so they're orchestrating that. And then just to see these guys coming in, because I was reading their X-Men comics back in the day, and then, look at the Joe Kelly stuff, like, his run on Deadpool in the 90s, and then I Killed Giants, and just, all these guys on Uncanny X-Men, it's just blowing my mind that here I am, putting together an experience where people who I called heroes as kids, as a kid, and now I call them friends as an adult.
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
Yeah, but it's like that's the kind of environment that we cultivate for San Diego Comic Fest, because we want it to be intimate and friendly and accessible to these creators where you can just hang out and have a wonderful time.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of weird, like how you get older, and like I actually met Jaime Hernandez. He does Love and Rockets and all that. I met him at Heidi Ho Comics for Free Comic Book Day. And I met him, and he seemed really nice and everything. And I kind of like, yeah, cool. You don't want to like get in their face, and it's Free Comic Book Day. You're busy. But one of my friends, Lawrence, he does Real Deal Comics, and he's published through Fantagraphics as well. And he said, "Oh yeah, Jaime Hernandez was asking about you." I'm like, what? And like here I have this comic book called Demon Bitch. I think you've read it. It's just like,
yeah,
wow, yeah, it's like, what the fuck, But yeah, I couldn't remember if you read it. I know we run into each other, and I know you've been running around busy, like promoting this event, because it's a pretty big event.
I always take a moment to stop and talk comics. That's the most important thing.
There you go. Yeah, like I always end up drawing with people. Like if you see me right here during the lunch hour broadcast, I'm always drawing. It's not that I don't pay attention. It's just sometimes I'll like fucking doodle while I'm talking to people, and it's just.
Oh, it's okay. I have problems with eye contact too.
Yeah, it's just I mean, and also like we talk shop a lot and we talk about life a lot. So I think people like it when you're more well-rounded. If you're just like, it's like you get kind of single-minded to the point that you're boring. And yeah, you should always have that subjective, okay, how can I make a living at this? How can I make a good living? How can I not starve on this? How can I be rich on this? And I don't think that's bad if you're rich on it or make money, because you want to make money doing what you love. I think the world would be a happier place because of that, Because I don't have to go to some shitty job and blah, 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 and I just want to make the money so that I don't have to do the shitty job. It's like, how about you go and graduate to something you want to do and make money off of that, make a good living? I think that's okay, I don't see...
It's not as easy as it sounds, but, every day take a step forward.
Well, I think, it's like an investment, like being a doctor, at least being an artist, I can speak for that. it's just like being a doctor. Like, you have to invest a lot of time into it. And, you know, sometimes there are very hot young artists that will maybe be famous, you know, everybody. But it's like, don't feel bad if, like, after 5 years and you haven't, like, gotten, oh my God, I haven't gotten that big contract. It's like, it takes time. You build a following. And these are, like, from your family and friends to everything else. And, you know, like, right now, oh, Jared says he loves Ben 10.
Oh, really?
Ben 10 is fun. Yeah, I actually watched Ben 10. Ben 10's a little after when I got, because I'm more 80s G1, but I like the concept of Ben 10, and I've watched a few episodes here and there, like when he's a little boy. Yeah, it's a cool show, and the concept is cool. He's got a watch. He's got 10 aliens in there at the time, and he could morph into those bodies and do certain things. And as he got older, because I know they did do age progression with him, so it's a little bit darker. I think he's a teenager, like late teens now, like he's 18 now.
Yeah, so it's like you do see that character growth with that guy.
Yeah, like he's first like 10 or 11, and then now he's 18. So it's like in comic book time, it says, "Hi, Ivan, how's it going?" But, you know, it's like what I miss sometimes, I think, when you're an artist or a creative or anything, you have to be interested in telling a story. And I think a lot of people miss that. It's like, well, I'm going to do this superhero because, you know, this is what's popular. It's like, no, that is like the worst thing ever. And they said, well, I did the superhero. How come it's not popular? It's like, did you feel like this is something you should do? Not aside from anybody else or me, but do you feel like this is a character that was coming out of your head like a baby? And they were like going, oh, well, I just wanted to make it. Okay, did you have fun? No. Well, then people can fucking see it, man. People have a sixth sense about these things. Like,
yeah, people are weird.
Well, for a while I was drawing the proper comics. Like, I was trying to do that, and I wasn't happy, so I started doing Demon Bitch and Personal Monsters, and look at that shit. Now it's blown up.
And that's definitely the one that's going to make you stand out from the crowd.
Yeah, because I didn't do it like, oh, I need to make a thing so that I could show anger. No, it's like I laugh like an idiot when I fucking would draw this, and it's like, that's what makes other people laugh, so they see it. Hey,
vomit in my mouth when I'm reading it, but you know, it's at least it's an emotional reaction is definitely what you want out of the story.
Well, it's meant to be gross.
You know, why read it?
Yeah, so, I mean, throw up a little. Hey, Lawrence. So this is my friend Lawrence Hubbard that I was talking about. Great guest, awesome, a regular TV show. There you go. So yeah, we were talking about that. Yeah, he's the one that does Real Deal. Hey, Lawrence, what's up? So yeah, Lawrence just looks at it. He said, "God damn, what's all of the piss, shit, and vomit?" But like he knows, like who is it? Johnny Ryan. And if you've ever read Johnny Ryan's Prison Pit, now he had a Nickelodeon show called Goat, Duck, Banana, Pig, Cricket, and yeah, read Prison Pit. It's pretty bad. And he did this cartoon called 6911. That's some shit right there too. It's very bad.
Yeah. I mean, I can see why some people might find that touchy. Certainly is.
Hey, Armando. Lawrence is going like, you should do a black superhero comic.
I should do a black superhero comic.
No. He's kind of fucking around. The thing is that he's a black comic artist, right? And he does this book called Real Deal Comics, and it's literally about terrible people in the ghetto, you know. And it's just, you read it, it's warped, and it's fucked up, and it's funny. But he was telling me that people would come up to him and say, you should do a black superhero. It's like, fuck you, there's so many of them. Fuck off, I don't want to do a black superhero. These are actually based on real people that are terrible, so. Yeah.
You can do one based on me. I'm a terrible person.
I just like ... but we can definitely, but Lawrence has done some stuff for Demon Bitch too. Like, he's done like fan art and shit, and that's part of the Kickstarter rewards. But yeah, it's just funny. It's just like a lot of this stuff is, I think honestly, it really shows if you're having a good time with it. If it's just manufactured because you feel like you need to do it, but you're not really driven to do it, it's just like, people aren't into that. I'm not saying that, by the way, this is a disclaimer, I'm not saying you shouldn't make black superheroes or whatever. It's just do what you feel that you're going to draw.
Why can't we have a white superhero month?
Yeah, that's true. I'm just fucking around. It's just like, why can't we have a white superhero month?
Now everybody is unfriended me.
Yeah, it's like, fuck you, you racist, fuck you.
Okay.
Were you from Santee, that KKK area? It's just kidding. I heard about that. I don't know. Not that. What?
I'm not from Glen T.
Is that what they call it down in San Diego? Because like every time I hear Santee, I think of Santee Alley, but it's in the fashion district here. Yeah. What's happening? Oh, kind of like Boondocks. Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, but no, I mean, it's kind of weird because in the comics community, you get to just know people that have paid their dues and done their shit, and it's amazing. And they're still really cool people.
I started at this in like 2009, and now here I am, and just like, I'm still relatively young at 33, and I've taken some good steps, but of course, I wasn't taking the steps to be a writer or artist. I didn't really want that path, and so I wanted to be more of an editor, and now here I am in the event organizer role, and it's one that I didn't think or really imagine myself in, but I really enjoy it. I have a good time with it, because it's one that allows me to get out and about, to be everywhere, to know everyone, to do everything, because I'm a guy who rushes around and wants to do it. It's like, I don't really like being cooped up or hunched over a desk. That's not really me. I like to run around. I like to do stuff. I do a billion things in a day, and that's what I really like to do.
Yeah. No, I get you on that. Hi, Arnie. How's it going? And Lemon Park in San Diego. Where's Lemon Park?
You mean Lemon Grove?
I guess so. I don't know San Diego that well. All I know about is Gaslamp and Mission Valley Hotel. Yeah, but other than that, I'm just like... Yeah, because of SDCC. Come on. I mean, I stayed with some friends out somewhere in San Diego, and they had a gypsy Vardo. Well, I should say Vardo, but a gypsy thing, and that was kind of cool. That's how I spent my New Year, because I was like ensconced in this thing, and like they had keys everywhere, and it was this weird mystical shit. So no, I was not on drugs, but I just was sitting there, and like it was kind of a transformative experience for the New Year in San Diego, because it's just like felt like stuff came to fruition, and these are the same people, Intervision Entertainment, that recorded my voice for the Kickstarter and edited the video, and they did a great job. Yeah. So
here I am, just doing this giant dork stuff and going forward on things. And the times are busy, but I can't forget what brought me here, to do this Comic-Con. It's a love of comics, and San Diego Comic Fest is a labor of love. It's just bringing to life just an opportunity to bring in figures of the past, figures of the present, and up-and-coming ones of the future, and allowing them to flourish so they can become these industry icons. It's a wonderful thing.
Yeah. Hey, Philip, by the way. Hey, Philip, how's it going? Yeah, I know what you mean. It's like, it's been kind of like, it's weird. I never thought that where I was at would take me to where I am now. Like, I wanted to do comics. I kind of wanted to be in the indie scene, and beyond. And now I'm, like, doing indie comics and doing my own shit, and I'm actually getting popular, which is like, whoa, holy shit, I don't know why, but it's just like, I tried at comics like twice before, and I kept fucking up and failing. But this time I've got my configuration right, I've got my tech configuration, I've got my just lifestyle right. Everything is set up, and it's great. I just love it, and it's like one of those things, like, if you're happy about it, it's like, I'm happy drawing. I mean, I just drew some stupid shit right now for Demon Bitch while we were talking, but it's just like, these are fuck off sketches, but it's like, it's weird because even fuck off sketches, you don't even feel upset about, like, you can always use them. Like, in my campaign, even though I was doing lunch hour and sketching them, I would use them as part of, like, the thing to, like, post it. And I think what's...
Every little bit helps. It's like, if you do something, even if you don't publish it, it's still helping you along. Maybe you can just make it a Facebook post, or just say, like, oh, here's my failed attempts at something, because I've had my, plenty of failed attempts. And I think it's really great to do some of those attempts along the way. Like, that allows me a cool segue right there, because one of the books I've enjoyed over the past year was Shannon Wheeler's book of rejected New Yorker cartoons, and that's an opportunity for mention that he is actually a special guest at San Diego Comic Fest. So hearing his story of how he was basically working and just doing too much Coffee Man as a self-published strip.
Oh, I remember Coffee Man, Too Much Coffee Man. Yeah, he's like...
Yeah, Coffee Man as a self-published strip, and he was just like, printing up copies at Xerox machines and like putting them out at stores. And now the character taking off as a self-published thing, and now he is a New Yorker cartoonist as well.
Yeah.
But of course, he still gets rejected by the New Yorker, and to publish that collected edition of strips that didn't make the cut for the New Yorker because it's highbrow cartoons, and so of course some of that not so highbrow humor isn't going to make the cut, but it's still wonderful and to just laugh at this stuff and see how great it is. And so I thought that was a wonderful idea.
You know, it's funny. Johnny Ryan actually did publish a book called New Yorker Cartoons, and they are the worst cartoons ever. And I don't mean that they're shitty. Well, they're fucked up. I mean, let's face it, they're fucked up. Like, there's this one, and it was actually banned off Instagram, but he always gets like fucking. He sometimes gets shit pulled off Instagram so much. But there's this one part where he's standing there, and then like remember when the election came, and then. In this cartoon, people are shooting each other and killing each other and dismembering each other and doing all sorts of awful things. And there's this girl, and there's this girl saying, "I voted!" It's just like so bad. And then he had that it was pulled off Instagram as a result. I wanted to buy that fucking original. And all there is it's just shit drawn on like Xerox paper, but that's the best. I mean, if you look at his Instagram Outlaw Scum Fudge, you'll just see the worst shit ever, but it's great. It's just it's bad, but it makes you laugh, and it's
and I think it's important to view the bad stuff along the way, and also as you mentioned, political cartooning as well is something that's prevalent and needs a little more celebration, of course. And I say that at San Diego Comic Fest we also do bring in political cartoonists as well, because that isn't it's a relevant area, and we showcase that. So we have a couple political cartoonists coming along the way. Mr. David G. Brown, who is the cartoonist for the Los Angeles Sentinel, and also did the cartoon biography of Barack Obama. He is coming to the show. And Mr. Lalo Alcaraz, who you might know from La Cucaracha, and he's done graphic novels on Latino culture, and even served as the cultural advisor to Disney and Pixar for Coco.
That I didn't know. That's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I am just kind of laughing to myself. Like, if they ask me to do, like, some fucking highbrow shit, I will laugh. Because it's like, if you know the history of art and such, there's a lot of petty shit in art. The Last Judgment, right? By Michelangelo, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so it is amazing when you see these pieces in public. Like, I know you see reproductions and photos of them, right? But you literally fall to your knees because it is really crazy spiritual. It's not because of the subject matter. You just look at it and you are awed. Because on the ceiling, you have the creation that he did when he was 30. And then on the wall, you see the Last Judgment, what he did when he was 60. Like, they're right, seriously, almost side by side. So you see his artist portfolio, how he's grown. And you could still tell it's a Michelangelo, but you could tell, like, for that guy, like, he got more defined as it got older. Well, if you notice, like, in the corner, and like in the back, there's this, like, in the Last Judgment, you see Jesus in the middle with the saints, right, around him. And then at the bottom right corner, you see Minos, the king of hell, the dude with ass ears, right? So let me tell you a story. Okay, so, as an artist, we have milestones and all that. So it's a fresco. So what he did is that he put up a cartoon. It's just like outlines, chalk outlines or charcoal outlines to show where he could draw, right, on the fresco, on the material itself. So he starts drawing it, and then this cardinal would come in every day and start bitching at him. They would just say to him, like, "Oh, you have like naked saints. Fuck you. We're gonna cover this up. You deserve to have like everything taken down. This will torn up." Like, the 3 years that he had to work on this, he had to hear this asshole every day. Imagine. So imagine how that makes you feel after a while. So he does his milestones, which is like he finishes this panel, this part of it, this part of it, this part of it, this part of it. He saves the king of hell for last. So what he does is that he draws that very same cardinal with a snake biting his dick. It's like, fuck you. And that cardinal, from what I heard, saw that and was so angry. And it's like, this is all the shit that you've been giving me for fucking 3 years. Fuck you. And so when they say to me, you shouldn't be mad when you draw, or you shouldn't draw about people that piss you off, I'm like, no, that's like the best art ever. Yeah. I mean, like, these are individuals that pissed you off. So, like, here you go. You look at The Last Judgment, and this is the best, like, one of the, what's revered as one of the better pieces of art out there. And it came with a really fucking petty premise. It's like, part of it's like really, it's like supposedly all spiritual, and it's like this guy's like, hey, fuck you, asshole. And he worked in the Vatican.
Because, I've learned over the years, it's just, the best revenge is success.
Yeah.
build yourself up. Don't drag others down.
Oh yeah.
And it's so nice because the other night I saw my old boss who I was working with, the one who brought me into San Diego Comic Fest, and he's been given some distance from the event now for his behavior, but they chose to bring me in along the way after realizing that I was actually helpful all along the way. And they said, oh, look, we're less than 2 weeks away from the show. You hear about Forbes calling us America's Best Small Convention. We've got this guy, we've got this guy, we've got your old friend, we've got this old... And so just like...
You're just like...
I said, so what you doing now?
Like... Yep. Fist bump for Michelangelo. Very true. Humor is important.
And so, don't be discouraged by those naysayers. Be inspired by them.
It's like this. You have to just kind of think of yourself as a stoking fuel, as a train. You just burn it and let that keep me going. So it's like nowadays when I see artists try to explain themselves or excuse their work or try to say, well, no, I really was, I go like, look, unless if this person really cares about your explanation, just say, well, fuck you, I don't care. To be honest, you hating on my shit gives me much credence as people loving my shit. So, hey, fuck you too. You just paid attention to something I did.
Yeah, if you don't like it, then guess what? Well, guess what? You're still paying attention to it.
Right?
And are my favorite people, the people who buy your stuff and then trash talk it, and they buy your new stuff and they trash talk it. You still gave us money.
Oh yeah, there was one person, she bought a book of mine, Personal Monsters, and then she said to this one girl, you can burn the book. I said, bitch, you already gave me your money for it, so I don't care. Oh no, I can't print anymore. Oh no, whatever,
Burn the book and putting it on Instagram.
Oh no, this book is so terrible. Let's go look and see what it is.
Yeah, just simple answer for comic fans. If you don't like something, don't buy it. Buy stuff that you do like.
I mean, I've had one, I think one of my friends, well actually this was Lawrence, he was in a comic convention, well it was like a panel, right? And I don't know all of it, but this is what I heard from him, is that he draws Real Deal, and it's a fucked up comic, right? And this one old lady got pissed at him. I guess she was on the same panel as him. So she started screaming at him about how misogynistic and terrible it was and everything. And even the younger girls say oh, shut up, it's a fucking comic. And then she saw the line that he had compared to her line. So she's kind of sucking his dick now because of stuff like that. And I'm fucking laughing. And so it's they do that. Sometimes people will try to test you that way. They will go and tell you how much you suck. They will tell you how awful you are. They will tell you you're the worst piece of shit. And then you just go fuck off. And they're like, I respect you now. And I'm like, I don't understand that. I mean, to me, it's I understand people can test people and I see why. But to be flat out insulting and mean, and it's all of a sudden that person understandably kicks you in the teeth, or their fans do. And then they go I respect you now. It's you can't take those words back that you were saying, so...
Yeah, just, don't be a douche. It's not that hard.
Yeah, just be nice. For the most part, I consider myself pretty cool to people. I don't take shit, but, yeah.
I have plenty of creators who have projects that I'm friends with, but I don't like their stuff. I mean, I know this one girl who had this, I bought this book from her, it was called Demon Bitch, and nearly made me throw up, and I'll never read that ever again because it's so disgusting. But the lady who did it is really nice.
Actually, it's funny because I went to the Comic Bug, right? So I did a signing at the Comic Bug, and one of the guys there, not the owner, they have the same name, but it's a different guy. He was actually surprised I was nice. Why wouldn't I be? But then it's a mean, angry comic that's petty as fuck. So I guess because they were just.
It's fiction.
You just get it out. It's if you really read the work of fiction, it's these are about people that are assholes. So it's I'm not writing about people that I actually have any feelings towards. These are people that are fucking pieces of shit that I've run into. Different personalities. So why wouldn't I? But it's wow, she's really nice.
People in life. It just comes with life. That's how it is.
Yeah, I mean, people can be influenced by what is it? The artist's chatter or something. The artist chatter of what I've heard is you take that chatter and you put it in, and it's so funny. Even with Demon Bitch, even though she's a gross fucking person, or I wouldn't say person, a demon, it's hilarious because some of my friends say, she's really cute. I was laughing
She cute though.
Yeah, she's cute. I know she's disgusting, but she's cute. Like, I love her character design and everything. I mean, it's like, I think it's like also, one of my friends said that everybody has like a little bit of a demon bitch either inside of them or they deal with. You know, everybody's got that person with them. You know, so that's why I wrote demon bitch, because it's like I fucking hated this one girl and a couple of women that were fucking pieces of shit. And I was just like, fuck you, you know, and I did it, and now it's like this really beloved character. Like, you know, my friend said this looks demented as fuck. Like Lawrence is saying, this is demented as fuck. I haven't seen anything like it at all.
Yeah, DB is definitely making the rounds around the SoCal comic scene.
Really? Wow, that's great. It's kind of weird because like I don't know so much on that because I'm in the middle of it, like, because I just do it, but I hear like a lot of people really love it. You know, I mean, I kind of get it from people coming up to me.
Being a creator, you're stuck behind the table the entire time.
Yeah.
And for me, it's like, I exhibit at cons sometimes, you know, promoting my event, and I'm like, can someone take over and do a thing for me? Because I got to run around. Because I like being the active guy. I like being the guy that does stuff. So, like, you know, I just feel like a caged animal behind a table.
Yeah.
I can't do this. I can't do this. I got to go out and talk to people. I got to go out and see stuff. And that's...
Yeah, like, well, you do need a break. I mean, for me, like, when I do a pitch, people say, well, you have to go on this long, deep thing. It's like, no, you fucking don't. Like, how I go and market my comic is, like, you want to see something totally fucked up and awful and a piece of shit? Go read this book. It's just terrible, and it has no redeeming value. What?
Or go to my Facebook page.
Right? Or something. But I just do that, you know, and I'm just like, yeah, I know. Jared says, love your own work. Of course, love your own work. I mean, if it doesn't make me laugh like a goon, like, why the fuck do I do it, you know? But I just think it's funny, like, with people when they start getting into this whole thing, they're just like, how could you draw Demon Bitch? This is just amazing. And I'm like, what, it is? I'm just drawing it because I'm just drawing gross shit in my head, you know, like. But it makes me laugh like an asshole. I mean, like, that's kind of also, like, why I like Johnny Ryan, because he's even mentioned, like, sometimes it just makes him laugh. He says, just, I want to see what I can do with this, like, a naughty little kid. And they'll do it. And I have to say, it's pretty honest humor. Like, it's just, like, I'll have to send you his Instagram. It's pretty awful. And you're like, no, don't ever fucking send me shit like that. No, but Quentin, I sent him 6911. He just was like, that's, like, his favorite fucking piece on there. Because it's messed up. But, yeah, so, I mean... You know, but, yeah, just, it's weird kind of like talking to you, and I'm talking to you and hearing you, and then hearing what I'd say, and it's like, it's weird because it's sort of similar but different. It's like we kind of have to step outside of themselves.
It's just like James Franco said in the interview. We are the same, but different.
Yeah.
Same, but different.
Yeah. And not only that, it's funny because, like, for me, it's like when I do a pitch, I don't like doing pitches that I don't want to fucking repeat 10 million times at a con. Bless you.
Yeah.
But,
yes,
yeah, but, like, at the same time, it's, like, weird because it's like, some people will say, well, you know, this comic's about this, and, you know, bless you, Jesus. But it's like, this comic's about this, and after a while, I'm like going, why the fuck do I want to talk about something like this 10 million times? I'm already fucking bored. Everybody else hears it. So what can I say that's true about my work but would make me fucking laugh all the time? So I just say, hey, you want to read a book that's angry and mean and it makes people laugh? And, like, literally there was this one girl, like, I was not table poaching. So her boyfriend was really engaged with the table next to me. And she was just sitting there. You know, she was kind of interested, but she kind of kept looking at me like... And I just said to her, do you want to read the book? I mean, if you don't, that's fine, but it looks like you want to. She's like, yeah, he's listening. That's fine. So she read it, and she says, what's it about? And I said, oh, it's petty as fuck. It's about some fucking bitch I hate. She's like, she's reading it. Like, people don't give themselves permission. Like, yes, we all have these impulses. And then she's like, I'm buying this book. And then her boyfriend bought the stuff from the other table. She says, what are you doing? She's like, oh, you have to read this book. You have to read this book. And it's like, it's just this petty as fuck book. But it's like, apparently, it's got so many deep connotations to it that I don't even see. That it's like, all right, you know. So, like, I just write and draw an asshole comic.
We all find our great creative vendors along the way. Mine is making dumb jokes on Facebook all day while I pimp out this, you know, comic convention that I'm very proud of putting together. And, you know, we find our ways to bend. We find our ways to create. And, you know, creation is much more difficult than destruction, but what you've done with your comic is you're creating destruction. You're finding a way to tear down the evil
Demon.
of the world
Yeah.
by creation, and it works.
Well, it's also like I've also talked about this, and I actually should want to do a thing with it. But what I love about really offensive shit is that if it's done right, it's like a mirror to the self, the self of society. Like, it sort of points out the stupid, fucked up things that society does, despite society going like, well, we're so much better than that. It's like, no, you guys still do the same shit,
You're gonna keep doing it. There's gonna be people who don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying that society can't advance, but don't say you're perfect. You're not. We're human beings. We're not perfect. And I think what I like about my work...
But I come pretty damn close.
Oh, please, stop being self-aggrandizing or else I'll draw about you. Just kidding.
I'd be happy to. I'd be honored.
Oh, okay. I'll have to draw you as a guest in Demon Bitch, but... Actually, it's fun, because it's funny, and I'm not...
No, I love it when people draw me in their comics to make fun of me. I've been killed in a comic, I've been a zombie in a comic, and I've got my head cut off. It's so... I love it when people make fun of me in their stories.
Now, have you ever been stabbed in a comic? That's all I gotta... Oh, okay. I probably should have something stab you in a comic, By the way, this is video saying he's okay with it, so there you go. So you can't come back and bother me about it.
Yeah, I'm going to sue you for taking my image, but then you're probably just going to say, no, that's James Franco.
What's funny is one girl actually did threaten to sue me, and I told her to go fuck herself. I'm like, this doesn't have even your name and shit. So, like, why do you think all of it's about you? If you're involved, if you look like with a bunch of fucked up looking people, then there's something wrong with you. Because all my characters are not drawn nice. Like, if I'm drawing stuff about Demon Bitch or Personal Monsters, none of them are beautiful. I got a runny nose. But yeah, it's dumb. It's like so funny. So it's. So I just draw the thing and everything. But it's just like, I don't know. It's like everybody was telling me like, oh, okay, you shouldn't draw mean, angry things. You should really get over it. And then now when I draw mean, angry things, they're the first people to say, this is so great. This is so awesome. You're so successful. This is so great. I'm like, probably shouldn't say no at first.
Yeah, it's like, we need cartoonists to draw mean, angry things. So, there's a place in for you and Julie.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, yeah, she's coming by my house later today. Said, let's go grab a burger.
Okay, yeah, it's the ultimate girl bromance, which I call a homance.
Homance.
Yeah. That was a term we came up with back in college a year ago.
A homance.
Like a bromance and then homance. And so.
That's hilarious. Yeah, it's funny. It's funny. Like, she was on one of my lunch hours, and we're just sitting there, and people were just fucking dying. They were just like, what the fuck, guys? Because we would just say all sorts of shit, so it's like... And I think...
Stab me sometimes.
What?
She threatens to stab me sometimes.
Well, she's got stabbing on the mind, like sometimes when I've done like a con in East LA, she says, don't get stabbed. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I mean, I go in that part of town, nobody fucking bothers me. I don't know what's so bad about it, right? I mean, maybe I'm oblivious. And then and finally I just had to say, okay, what the fuck is up with you and stabbing? I have plenty of friends that are Salvadorian and Mexican and all this other shit, but...
She taught me about Puerto Rican judo.
Yeah, she just said...
Judo know if I got a gun, judo know if I got a knife, judo know if I got a baseball bat. I'm like, we're kidding. We know you got a knife. No, she explained it to me slightly different way, although that is pretty funny. No, she actually went in this whole thing where... I just finally said, good Lord, what the fuck is it with you being stabbed? Like, what is this thing about being stabbed? I have never heard this from my friends that are Mexican, Salvadorian, like Guatemalan, none of that. Like, what the fuck is it with you and stabbing? And she says, well, as Puerto Ricans are poor, so we can't afford a gun or something, so knives are easy. I'm like, wow. Okay, I hadn't heard her say that. I just heard about
She said that. She said that to me, and that was like, wow, okay. Although it's funny because she was telling me she was watching Enough, with Jennifer Lopez. Okay, so the backstory of Enough, guys, is that it's about a woman. She gets beaten up by her husband and shit, and so she learns kickboxing and kicks the shit out of him eventually. So, okay, that's what happens. And I guess there's this one scene. I don't watch that shit because it's just... it's just like I don't feel like... Neither do I. I mean, I don't think I'm missing much except Selena. That's a little different. But so this guy's...
Right,
Geely. I heard Geely is really bad. I think I saw some sections and I think I'm turning this shit off right now. It wasn't like bad in the sense of offensive. It was just bad, like it didn't go anywhere. It was just like, yeah, I'm here. Yeah. But
it was when Ben Affleck and J-Lo were a thing. It was an excuse.
No, I remember. It was just stupid. It just really wasn't anything. So, I guess, in Enough, the husband's beating her in the kitchen. And I think her mom makes this comment like, why is he beating her in the kitchen? That's really dangerous. She's got all these pots and pans and knives and shit. Like, oh my God. What the fuck?
That's an out-of-place line.
And again, this is not me saying it. It was just kind of amazing. I'm like, but yeah, it's like, yeah. So it was very interesting. So yeah, because the Latinos that I know are Mexican, Guatemalan, Salvadorian, central to south, not the ones from the Caribbean or the tropical areas or that area.
She signs her signature on her book with the stabby knife and thing. Of course, this is not a knife. It's my comb.
Oh, I have quite a few knives around here.
I have quite a few brushes around here to keep my hair fluffy and elegant and nice. So.
Yeah. By the way, we're switching gender roles on this show, so there you go.
Okay.
Yeah, there we go. He has.
You have a problem with that?
It's like, you got a problem with that, bitch?
Anyone upset by our switching of gender roles on this? Before we call you out on a massive, protest of how dare you protest my gender role?
Quentin says, Joker, do you know why I use a knife? Because a gun is too quick.
Yeah. Hear about that, Batman? Or did your parents hear about it? Oh, too soon?
She was telling me, what's amazing about Korean people is that you just have this murderous rage. I'm like, yeah. By the way, my background is Korean. My ethnic background is Korean. So that's why I was
my ethnic background is white.
Do you know what kind of white? Or just white?
English, Irish, Scottish, but of course my mom is also black.
Well then, there you go. So you're part black.
Yep.
So you can make fun of anything.
Yeah, so that's why I can. Well, I do, but I don't. Because I don't want to be that troll on the internet. Those days are gone. Now I'm a builder upper of things.
So you're a builder of worlds.
Builder of worlds. Nerdy worlds, and created elements for creators to keep creating, and it's a wonderful experience for me, and I really enjoy it. And I hope that y'all will join us at San Diego Comic Fest, because I've been working very hard to put this together.
Yeah.
And
go do the thing.
Yeah, come to San Diego Comic Fest, March 7th through the 10th. Mm-hmm. 4-day tickets are just $50, but we also offer one-day passes, military discounts. Kids 12 and under are always free, and just, I hope you come by, say hi to Sergio Aragones, and Scott Shaw, and Mark Evanier, and James Robinson, and Shannon Wheeler, and Steve Rude, and the Men of Action Studios creators, the legendary Disney animation guys. We have such an amazing special guest list. It's hard for me to name them all, but I'm happy to have everyone on board, every special guest, every vendor, every thing along the way, and...
The only thing is, you don't offer what discount is the 5-fingered. 5-fingered is not offered.
No. We do offer the 4-finger discount at your Simpsons fair.
There you go. What about the 1-finger discount?
Okay. No, we don't do that one. Get it?
Don't do that one. No.
Yeah, turn something controversial into something, and then they say.
I'll just have to draw turds on your head when I draw you. You're like, but this is beautiful. See? Like that.
I need to style them.
Oh, Philip says here, he's from Long Beach. I am a Caribbean Latino of Puerto Rican descent, never stabbed anyone. I am sure you have not. That was just some shit. When I heard that, I was like... But anyway, so, okay, it's 1:34, but Matt, you can find Matt through all those links up on the text of the lunch hour. Go to them, get your ticket. You can go one day, all the 3 days, go all the days. Just don't fucking camp out at his house. That's all I ask.
Yeah, my house too. I got plenty to read too. Just and if you just want to talk comics, just add me on Facebook. I'm down to geek out over whatever. I'll talk comics with you, talk cartoons with you. Mm-hmm. I'm a voracious lover of King of the Hill. I especially love King of the Hill, so especially talk about that with me too. So yeah, I'm just a assimilator of all things geeky. So just as you can see, just throw whatever at me. I'm down to chat because I'm a big dork at heart, and I hope that you'll come see me at San Diego Comic Fest. If not, I'll probably see you at every single other convention out there. Going to be doing WonderCon, going to be doing Comic-Con Revolution, and a bazillion things. I'm pretty easy to spot.
He gets around.
I do.
Yeah, he gets around a lot. But yeah, so yo también, pero soy curazo. So Quentin, his family's from the Caribbean as well, from Curaçao. I think that's how you pronounce it. Yeah, same here. So yeah, so guys, check it out. Check Matt out. I've also tagged him in this post too. So go ahead, check his shit out. Go to those links. Follow him on Instagram and all that shit. You really should. And if you can, check out the show. It promises to be a good one, and hey, it's the best littlest con ever.
Oh yeah, thank you so much. I'm happy to have you on board.
Yeah. So you guys, you have a good day. I'll see you tomorrow, 12:30 same time. And Matt, thank you for being on here and chatting and dealing with me going all over the place as well as the conversation. But you had a lot of great information.
I'm happy for an all over the place conversation. Those are the best ones.
Gives you good exercise.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
I need it for my dad bod.
Yeah. All right, guys.
Thank you so much for having me. I'll catch y'all later.
All right.